my little chopsticks to hold my hair in place. Um, I realized there was something, I was reviewing what I said already, and I realized there was something that I didn't mention that is, um, I think, very important. Um, when I was being investigated by Child Protective Services, they never actually investigated me. They never watched how Noah and I interact. They never spent any time with the two of us together. They have absolutely no documentation. They didn't see anything between the two of us, not once. And they were obsessed in making sure that my husband saw that letter. That seemed to be their real goal. Their goal was not in protecting Noah and making sure that Noah was safe and that I was a fit mother, because they didn't check. They didn't look at that at all. Um, like I said, they didn't come over to the house to see me and Noah interact. They didn't see me taking Noah anywhere or doing anything with him. They didn't ask to. I would have allowed them to. I would have invited them to do that. They never did. Um, they didn't go and see how Noah behaved in class, not to my knowledge anyway. And I asked about that, and I was not told that that happened at all. So there was never any actual concern for Noah, none that I could see. Um, I would have felt maybe not as bad about the whole, what I'm considering at this point to be a misunderstanding, if I had seen some genuine effort to protect Noah. Like if that's their goal, Child Protective Services, if I'd seen actual effort to protect Noah, I would have felt one way. But their main, can you let Sparky out? That's what I can. Thank you, sweetie. Their main obsession was in making sure that Lewis got a copy of this letter that I wrote. And so I gave him a copy. And it was very embarrassing for me to do that. And I emailed it to him, so if there were any hackers that wanted to read it, it was open. It's not very hard to hack into somebody's email account and read what they've got there, especially not mine, because I'm like the easiest person ever. So, I thought better to come from me than to come from them, and better to be honest about it and upfront than not. And so I showed it to him myself, and I told him myself. I told him exactly what happened. So he knew. He's never been uninformed about those things. He's known all along. But I bring this up because with what happened at Sandy Hook and all this talk about gun laws and how to protect children in their schools and so on, there's some real problems here. Because while there was no gunman that actually walked into my son's school, a woman from Child Protective Services was able to walk into his school without consulting his teacher, pull him away from his group, take him to a separate, I don't want to say interrogation room, but that's kind of what happened. They took him away to a separate room where she interviewed him. And all she wanted to discuss with him was his pets, namely his cat, because I had an incident with our cat. I killed our cat. I've never done that before or since in my entire life. I have pets. I love animals. It's never been a problem for me. But there was one day, shortly after the Lauren Spears blog, my cat went feral, went absolutely feral, as if she was listening to some kind of high frequency thing in her ears, just went totally bonkers. Like that incident I posted about the painted dogs that attacked that poor boy in the zoo in Pittsburgh. Same thing happened to my cat, only it was here at home. And it happened very late at night. Well, not very late. It was maybe 9 or something. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. I was so upset by the whole thing. But I felt I had to do this to protect my son. I started by just holding her, trying to get her to stop because she was attacking. And that didn't work. I mean, she was feral, like rabid. Like you could imagine a cat with rabies or something like that. And keep in mind that I'd had this cat for a long time. I loved her, and that I'd actually given her. I was used to giving her a bath at least once or twice a week. Cats notoriously hate that, and will claw and scratch you when you do that. And because of the way I am with animals, I was able to do it with her. It took a while, but we got into a rhythm, me and her, and I could wash her. And I did this mainly because my son's allergic to cats, and if you wash them, um, it helps with the allergies. They don't have them anymore. So it was beyond the pale that my cat should behave this way. And so this happened, and that was what the Child Protective Services people wanted to know with my son. They didn't ask me about it. They asked him about it. And he didn't know anything about it because he didn't see it. I didn't allow him to see it. He was not there. I made sure he did not see any of it. Um, Much like those teachers at Sandy Hook who made the children close their eyes as they walked them out of the school to protect their innocence. They don't want you don't want them to see something so heinous. You know, um, once I was holding her and I saw what was going on, that she was acting like she had rabies or something. I was in the back room and I closed the door and I wouldn't allow him in there. And I had to do something. And I hit her on the head, to try to be more humane about it. And it didn't work. It didn't work. So um, anyway, I had to do what I had to do. And I don't like to talk about it, and I'm not proud of it. And thank God it's never happened again. Hopefully it will never happen again. And like I said, I discussed this with this woman from Child Protective Services, and I discussed this with a psychologist. And all of this has come out, and it's all been documented, and they've already looked through all of it, and they have assured me that this is behind us. Okay, they've assured me that I don't have to worry about that. And I suppose unless it were to come up again, I can't imagine how it would. For one, we're not getting any more cats. That's a given. We have our dogs, and we're happy with them. They're super friendly. Although Sparky does have this little erection problem, but that's certainly not harmful to us. I worry that it's harmful to him, but it's not harmful to us. Uh, but what I wanted to emphasize here was that the school, and I don't want to place blame on the school because I love that school, and I think his teachers would do everything humanly possible for him, but they didn't know. That woman came in, and I asked his teacher, did you know that she came in and pulled Noah out of line and took him into a room by herself and interviewed him? And I asked his teacher, did you know that that happened? And she said, no, I didn't know that that happened. I will check on it. And then I asked the social services people at the school if they knew that that happened, and they did not know that that happened. And in the end, it turned out that it was all legitimate. But I find it very disturbing that she was able to go in and do that without asking permission from anyone. Even if it's legal, it's not right. You know, children have a safety net with their teachers and with the people they interact with at school. It's their home away from home. And you can't just have a stranger coming in, and even if it's legal, that does not make it right. Okay? And now that with this whole Sandy Hook thing happening, I am probably more aware of it than ever. They're talking about introducing guns into the schools, which I think is totally insane. I don't know how that ever came up. And they're talking about doing this, I don't know, federally, legally, somehow. I don't see how that's even possible. Schools are all local. You'd have to go through a school board. And let me tell you something. If you think that things are interesting in Washington, go to a school board meeting. Man, you haven't seen anything until you've been to a school board meeting. You get people that, I mean, depending upon the topic, they will go for each other's throats. And that's where that's going to end up, because you have to go through the school board. That's a local thing. The federal government has not been very effective in doing federal education. In fact, they've been terrible at it. They've been unable to do it. It's just the lighting. Right, Sparky? It's just the lighting.
What's just the lighting? And Mommy?
So anyway, yes?
I thought that mushy Dixie.
She did.
I heard you in the other room.
You heard me say it? I tried to get the two separate, and I'm not sure if it was Smushy or if it was me, because I had to separate the two.
Okay.
That's why we're not getting another cat.
Okay.
We have our dog Mushy. She is an Afghan.
They're bred to hunt tigers.
They're bred to hunt tigers, that's right.
And they're successful in all their tiger hunts.
That's right. And some dogs, like Weimaraners, anybody who's a dog owner knows that there are some dog breeds that you cannot have a cat in the house with them. They're known to hunt. That's what they do. And so if you want to keep your not all animals can be put together. It just doesn't work out that way. And Mushy very likely is the kind of dog that we cannot have a. It's not funny, Noah.
Oh man, it looks like nothing.
Noah. Okay. Why don't you come here? Why don't you just stick your face right here? Because I'm talking about the kids at Sandy Hook, and there was a little boy named Noah there. Today I am awesome. Or what? What are the other options there?
Epic.
Or epic. Don't do that. That's just silly. Okay. You want to blow a kiss? Don't do that ugly face. Make your pretty face. Make your beautiful face. Your normal face is beautiful. I really don't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got your little Maryland freckle. No, nice face. Show off your Maryland freckle. Okay, go like this. Do it with your face in the screen. Okay.